So very warm welcome to all of you on this very amazing and informative session on Shiksha. So today's session definitely is very information. I would say informative and very useful to all of you, because I know all your minds are decked up in books. You're prepared for NEET, which is on 17th, and there's nothing that you want to do apart from your books and studies. But trust me, this session is important because we have someone who's already done this exam, is in the 4th year, and is like towards his dream goals achieving. So I think he's the best person who can answer your last minutes queries that you might have, and suggest certain very important thing that will be very helpful to all of you. So let me just introduce Rohan Patil, who's an MBBS student from MRMC. He has been on our panel before. He has done a few sessions with us, and he's here to guide you and help in the best possible way for these last few days. So Rohan, thank you so much, and a very warm welcome to you on our session.
Thank you for the opportunity for inviting me. And it's lovely to be here. And I would say all the teachers who have taught you have done an incredible job. And I'm here to clear your last minute queries on on how to crack it, or what to revise, or whatever queries you have in the last minute. So I'm here to solve all of them.
So I would request all of you quickly drop your queries in the Q&A. Murugan, hi. Murugan says hi to both of us.
Hello.
So good to see all of you here. And I know you're busy studying, but I think this is the only platform where you're getting this last minute chance to solve your queries. Is there anything that you're unsure or you want to know? Hi, MK Rahul. Okay, Rahul says hi to you, Rohan, as well. Okay. Okay, so Rohan, I have already started getting queries for you. Hi, Naveen, Samina. So good to see all of you. Dhanush, I hope you all are preparing well. Spandan, studying hard. Kushal, Vishnu, Uday Kumar. So good to see all of you here. I know you all are like into the books and studies. Okay. So Rohan, let's just start with their queries, because the 60 minutes is all about their queries. Okay. Sony is asking how to revise chemistry. So Rohan, last 4-5 days, what should be the revision plan for chemistry?
Okay. What I would say is, you first, if you're really nervous about chemistry, I would say you can make biology and physics your more stronger suits. So if you are planning on, if you're generally very confused about chemistry, you have time. And if you're conceptually confused, you can just focus on some of the strong topics, which are like P block, and some of the formulas which are required for solving, like thermodynamics, and you can start solving them, and you can just start getting the knack of it. And I would say you can check your mock papers about how they're framed and how it is all done. So I say there you'll get to know about what kind of chemistry questions are they actually targeting. Okay, so once you get to know them, you can you try to find what your strong suit is and what your weak suit is. Okay, and once you get to know that, you can start solving those first. And even then, after, if you try that for a few days, revising all the topics, but if you are not able to do that, I would say give chemistry only 1 hour. That is what is recommended. Give it 1 hour, less than 1 hour, and do how much ever possible. Attempt 60% of the questions, 70% of the questions. And I think according to today's world, it is extremely competitive. So say 170 questions is what matters. So I would say answering all of them would be really important. And chemistry, what would be important, I'm sure your teachers would have already told you, but how to have a look at them is, you divide it based on what you can instantly solve and what requires calculation or what requires more thinking of it. So if you can eliminate two options in a single go, then go for it, answer it, or circle it, come back within the same time frame, come back to it, and start answering them. All right. Did that answer your question?
Right. Sonia, I think Rohan has given the best possible way of revising chemistry. Okay. So just go for it. Okay. Okay. Coming quickly to the next question. Sir, please say about how many questions we should write for all the 4 subjects.
Okay. So right now, till I think 3 years ago or something, we people who used to get around 620, 640, which by solving around 150, 160 questions correctly, they used to get incredibly good marks. But then nowadays that has become the mean criteria, and everybody is doing really well. So I say uh, you must solve 170 questions, which sums up to 680 marks. That is how much you are supposed to solve. But then even if you're not able to get all of them right, the last 10 questions or so, they are the ones where all the if you're really confident with them, I would say you can go for it. But then you must not lose out your marks through negative scoring.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I would say you do it well, you see where it takes time, and how we divide it is biology first, chemistry second, and physics third.
Yeah.
So biology you can finish in half an hour, 40 minutes. Then go for your chemistry. That is around 40 minutes to 1 hour. And then physics. So biology you can attempt almost all of them since they're very straightforward. Chemistry, same, the mix of them. There are certain reasoning questions and you have solving, and
Yeah.
there are something very factual which
Yeah.
you'll get. Yeah. And physics, it's mostly on the solving point of view. So you give around 1.5 hours or 1 hour 20 minutes to it.
Yeah.
So that is how you'll go for it. So around 1 or 2 questions is how much you can leave. But if you're not confident enough, but how should I mark it? I would say within the 30 minutes time frame, how much you have allocated it, just circle it, answer it, move forward. And then if you can eliminate 2 options, eliminate it. Think about your factual based or however you're thinking it, and try answering it. All right.
All right, let's move to some other queries. I could see so many queries coming up here. Okay, Kumar Gautam, I'm picking your question next. I'm losing my around 60 marks by changing my answer in last time of OMR filling. Please help me to rectify it. Okay.
Last minute OMR filling.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, I'll answer it in the way I understand it. So, is it that in the last moment of OMR filling, you either make mistakes while filling it, or you don't have enough time to fill out the OMR sheet?
Yeah.
So, what I did personally was after every section, that is after every subject, I used to mark all the questions. But I think according to your teachers, it would be after every question you're supposed to mark it. So, I would say it's really subjective, but do not keep your OMR to fill it in the end. Do not keep the entire OMR to fill it in the end. So because it'll take around 10 to 15 minutes. And if you're completely dedicated into solving all the questions and you're left with around 5 minutes in the end, you might make mistakes while filling the OMR, and you might not have enough time to fill out the OMR sheet completely too. So I would say biology, it's very straightforward. You don't even have to look at the question paper. You can directly mark through it. Chemistry, physics, section based is what you can go for.
Yeah. So I think that should help you out, Kumar Gautam, right? Okay. M. K. Rahul wants to know about how can we score more in physics. Okay. So some quick tips for physics revision.
Okay. Physics revision. Um, Same thing as chemistry. Know what your strong and weak holds are, and also uh, if you have your summary sheets prepared, keep your summary sheets handy and keep revising them. If you keep revising formulas every day, and physics questions are framed in such a way they're very creative, but yet they're easily solvable. So try answering how many other different kinds of questions you get, or similar questions which are framed in a different kind of way. So if you try solving them, you'll get a knack of, okay, this is how I'm supposed to target it, or this is how it will be asked. Or this is how I have found out the way of solving it and I can reach the result.
Yeah.
So if that is how you can do it. Go for it.
Right. Okay, Veda, I am picking your question next. Should we go for mock test or revise whole day? What would be your suggestion, Rohan, for that?
Yes. So coming to strategizing how your day would go in the last, I think there's not even a week left. So I would say, since your test will be conducted in the evening, 2 to 5. So you get up in the morning, you spend about 2 to 3 hours per subject
Yeah.
in the morning, both the subjects. And then I think by 12:30, you would have covered 2 of your subjects. That is mainly revising and looking at your high yield topics and looking at your main material, your study material, and not the textbooks, because last minute textbook reading, NCRT, yes, it is advised, but just go through the high yield points and what you're missing out on always. Try to revise through those and sit through the exam timing for your exam. Give the mock test like it's a real exam and sit through 2 to 5 and give your exam completely. Analyze your paper in the end, see where you're going wrong, and mark them and make sure uh, you revise on them tomorrow. Tomorrow morning when you get up, you have kept the subjects. You revise again the topics which you missed out yesterday.
Yeah.
So if you keep doing that, you'll slowly shorten the area where you're weak at. Okay.
Absolutely.
And after your exam is done for analytics, you're finish analyzing the paper with all the marks, and so you can revise one more subject in the end, covering all 3 of your subjects, and then have a good night's sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Mogana Priya also has, I think, similar question, like, can they give test in these last few days, or they should just go for revision? So I think Mogana Priya, just Rohan has answered that, like what exactly should you be doing in the last. Sakshi, we are already discussing on tips for these last 4 or 5 days that you have for preparation. So just be with us throughout the session. You'll find all relevant answers here. Okay. Okay. Naveen Kumar is saying that physics is very difficult. How can we score good marks?
Okay. I would say if physics is not so strong, I would say you can. I wouldn't say all physics is entirely difficult. I personally also felt physics was bit on the more challenging side. But then my way of how to target physics was I divided it in a way where the questions I found really well, where my concepts were really strong.
Yeah.
So I would answer them first and I would keep them aside. Second, I would go for all the assertive and reasoning and fact-based questions, and I would keep the ones where I'm not so strong in the end, so that I can completely devote my time to them and apply the right formulas and keep trying again to get the right answer. So if physics is tend to be challenging, so I would say focus on your concepts, which are more important, and their structured formulas. And I would say all the formulas which are given for your unlimited circuit boards or unlimited capacitors, I think they all are derived from your main equation, which is for your single one based resistor or capacitor. So it all comes down to how good your concepts are.
Yeah.
And in your uh, solid state matter and your thermodynamics and your gases chapter, I would say calculation is key in that point. You would have to be calculating fast because calculators will not be allowed there. So
Yeah.
what you need is a rough answer. So if you waste your time calculating to the very last decimal, it will not work out. So what you need is not round off everything, but you just need to round off the last few answers and try if you have put it in the formula, just try getting up an approximate. Okay, this is what the answer will get. Try
Yeah.
checking out your answers. Okay, this is what my answer is. Mark it.
Yeah.
Sometime your answers will fit directly into the formula, so you can directly find out. Okay, this is what I'm getting, and this is what the answer will be. It'll be very straightforward then. So I said this is what I would go for, and plus. All your formulas of your waves and oscillations, they're quite td, but I would say go through it over and over again and
Mhm.
solve questions and look at how your questions are based in that, how they are formed,
Yeah.
because they ask for one thing and they give unnecessary details in it. All right.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. So picking up this next question from Mogana Priya. So PYQ is enough for NEET in these days. I think a lot of you had the similar question, like doing PYQs is more helpful to gain marks. I think Gangari also had the same question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you let me know what the acronym is?
Yeah. So I think they are just wanting to know, like, should they go for doing more PYQs, like previous year's questions? Is it helpful, like in for last few days or not? Like, what should they do for that?
Okay, all right. So solving previous year question paper, yes, it is important. Since you'll get to know what kind of how they are actually basing on. But then looking at over the years, none of them are consistent.
Yeah.
So I would say go for it. You'll get to know what kind of a NEET paper is actually set. And I would say don't stop solving your mock question papers too. You can hold your last year question paper as standard, as what kind of difficulty level will be, but do not forget to solve your mock question papers. They are extremely important.
Absolutely.
And I say, since JIPMOR and AIMS have also been included in the NEET exams recently, so I would say your high yield topics are extremely important. And in your physics NCERT textbook, some really challenging questions will be given. And I think if you or if you solve extra physics question books, if it is Arihant or anything, they would have given you high yield questions. So I would say go for them.
Right. Astha, we are already discussing about revising the entire syllabus. So just be through the entire session and you know what all to focus really right now, right? Okay. Okay. Picking up this question, cutoff marks in all subjects. Rohan, if you can like discuss a bit about the cutoff marks that they might have in all the subjects.
All right. So I would say cutoff right now would be somewhere around 360, or I think it was somewhere close to that. So I wouldn't say okay. Cutoff is not usually the question asked, but I would say around your 50th percentile is what your normal cutoff will be. But if you're in the general category, somewhere between 150
Yeah.
will be a cutoff. But if you are belonging to the other categories, I would say 160, 170 will be a cutoff. And per subject cutoff, uh, that will be decided based on other criteria and other factors they have, like what your age is and what where you're starting from, with how many times you're trying, and have all the other different criteria for basing your rank on. So I would say the cutoff is not really important.
Yeah.
I would say just focus on your goal. And I know you all might be thinking, yeah, I'm getting less marks. Should I think about the cutoff? Will I be able to make it? I would say just focus on how far you come,
Yeah.
and just keep giving your best, and don't forget to notice what your weak spots are and work on them, because your strong spots, yes, they will help you, but your weak spots, just try covering them through all these constant revision and concept building. Okay, they'll help you out.
Absolutely. I totally agree to that. That really knows that where you are looping and where you're missing out something and you can really work on those points. Okay. Insha has this question. I think a lot of you has asked the similar question that I'm just able to score 430 plus in mock test. So how can we like improve? What should they can do to improve in the last few days?
Okay, so 430 okay, so I would say it's okay right now. So I would say you can keep giving a mock test, see where you're lacking at. I would say since biology question, most of them will perform well.
Yeah.
Chemistry and physics is what you have to check how much your marks you're getting in that. And if you're getting less in biology, I would say it would be because of your factual errors, and I would say just go back to revising them. But if the biology you're doing well and you're losing marks only out on chemistry and physics, and that is where it's holding you down, and that's where you're getting negative marks, I would say just answer more of biology and answer. I wouldn't say leave out on those questions. I would say you can leave out a few questions more of from chemistry and physics and attempt at the entire of biology. So you can get around uh, 20 to 30 more marks. So you can have an advantage there. But now, so you'll have to think of it as a strategy of how you can maximize your abilities. Now, if you're getting 430, try reaching your marks up to 500, 520. And I would say if you can achieve it in the such a less amount of time, it would be incredible. But I would say 500, 520, keep it your goal, try increasing it. And if 430 is just what you're getting on a bad day and you're getting 450, 460 on other tests, I would say still keep your score between 500 and 520, 550. Although you might think it is bad, I would say you will get good colleges. Just focus on how much you can do.
Yeah.
Okay, not everybody can perform really well. I would say you are strong. Just know how much what your goal is and work towards it. So 680 is what we tell you have to attempt. You attempt 680, you get somewhere between 500 and 550. It's all right. I would say
Yeah.
you're increasing 100 marks in such a short amount of time. It's a good effort.
Absolutely. That's a very positive advice from Rohan. Okay. Rohan, can we have like few important topics for bio as well? I think Shweta has also put up this question. So last tips, like revision tips for bio as well.
Okay. So what I've seen in biology is most of the people, when it comes to your entire physiology part and your animal kingdom and plant kingdom, they mess up there because they don't know what kind of classification is it, or there are too many names to remember, and there is too many small details. So if you're going through your coaching textbooks and you're finding it incredibly exhausting, in the last moment, I would say stick to your NCRT. It's incredibly simple. Just go through the all your small details, what the names are given,
Yeah.
the charts, and if you have any last minute uh, summary charts prepared, so use your summary charts. See, okay, this is what I remember. This is how the taxonomy is. This is what I'm supposed to be getting.
Yeah.
If you're there are your Krebs cycle and chemiosmotic synthesis. If you're messing up there, just try to apply logic. Why am I getting these ions here? Why is this enzyme here? So try cross questioning it, understand it, and biology is about memorizing, and then you memorize it. All right. So I would say you stick to the basics, get all your small genus and species about where they are present, and get all of them strong. And I would say in biology, assertive and reasoning questions are like, very important since they are your AIMS type of questions will be included. So I would say try targeting those assertive and reasoning questions well. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Rohan, for that answer. Okay, Sahil, taking up your query, I think some of you might have the same query, like the time management tips, like how much time, Rohan, they should spend, if they have to fill up the OMR sheet and, the entire process, how much time should they like dedicate themselves, and how can they have a practice of that before?
Okay. So your exam timing is actually 3 hour 20 minutes. So the first 20 minutes which you go, they'll let you fill out all the OMR details, and then you're supposed to open up your paper, your question paper, and then you're supposed to start solving. So I would say after each section, or for biology, after each question, you can start marking. For your practice, you can get these online. You can print these sheets, OMR sheets. Although the paper quality may not be well, but then you'll get a practice about how much to fill the OMR and how fast you can fill up the OMR.
Yeah.
I would say it is very important, and many people make a mistake here. Even though they do everything well, the OMR sheet is where they have a problem in. So I would say it will take probably around 5 to 10 minutes, including the whole thing. So biology will take about 5 minutes. Chemistry and physics will take about another 5 minutes. So 45 questions, you can do it easily. All right.
Absolutely. I think that is a very good suggestion that all of you can like definitely try. Okay, things to be done on the exam day, as in like Veda, you want to know like once you reach the hall and what exactly are the things like Rohan, is there anything do's and don'ts if we classify like these are the things that they should keep in mind and certain things that they shouldn't do on the exam day?
Okay. So your exam day, the first thing when you come into the hall, wherever it is being held, your exam hall, there your entire attire, it will be judged there. So I would say wear your formal clothing, wear loose clothing, where you can sit and comfortably solve everything. So because you would have been solving your mock papers in a certain amount of clothing, and then you go there with formal clothes, you might get a little uncomfortable. So I would say go with formal clothing, but yet comfortable. Your shoes won't be allowed, so try wearing open shoes, and you'll have to make it visible. You can't hide anything or anything possible. No belts will be allowed. All right. And a night before the exam, you have your exam. I would say try to think that it is going to be just another mock exam. Although you will be incredibly stressed, I agree, but try focusing it as it is another test and solving it at how much ever peace of mind you have. Try solving it calmly, and I'm sure it'll go well. And try carrying at least 2 to 3 pens, black markers, for your marking your OHP sheets, OMR sheets. And I would say reach the location at least half an hour early, half an hour to 1 hour early. Stay there. It'll be early enough, but just stay there. Observe how the environment is. Don't get stressed. If you think the environment is people are studying too much, I'm not doing enough, it's all right. Just see how the environment is. You'll be like, okay, fine, I can do this. And give yourself positive affirmations that you can do this. This is going to be easy, and I can do this, and this will go well. So give yourself positive affirmations the day for every day, and even the day before the exam. Comfortable clothing, have enough hydration, have your breakfast, and just go to the exam calmly. Wait for the fill your OMR sheet and come out. After you come out of the exam hall, you might feel everything is done, and I won't focus too much on what's going to happen after the exam unless a question pops up. But I'm sure none of you would be thinking of it right now. So I would say you can just calm down, think of it as another mock test, and solve it well, and it'll go well.
Absolutely. I think Manas had the question that how to be calm, energetic, and stress free. So I think Manas, all these points will really help you to, stay calm and energetic and stress free. That is very, very important. So, you have to keep yourself, free from all kind of stress and disturbances so that you can actually score really good, right? I think Rohan would agree to that.
Yes, I completely agree. So I would say in the current days, the social media has reduced the concentration level to the bare minimum, and it is really uh, disturbing the people who are supposed to sit for hours together and focus. So I would say you can keep your distractions aside. You can increase your concentration levels, and you can, if you get up in the morning, just have a cup of tea, have a cup of warm water, just enjoy the nature, and then get into your studies. And you can feel a sense of have a sense of hope that yes, you can do it. Then stay calm, solve all your questions. So when we are not calm and we try thinking, I have the entire physics paper left, I have only 1 hour, how can I do it? And we really start stressing and we start forgetting formulas. We're not able to remember concepts, and we don't know simple questions about what what the formulas are,
Yeah.
or what Avogadro's constant is even. So I would say you can just calm down. Everything will come to you. Just start solving it with a calm mind, and you'll just solve it like any other mock paper. You'll do it very well.
I totally agree. And please do follow all the tips that he's sharing, because trust me, this will really help you, and this will actually build that confidence and calmness that you need to have on the exam day, right? Okay, Anwar, that's an interesting question. Is NEET 2022 question paper, will that be easy like 2021? Rohan, you have any advices on that? I mean, can we guess that whether the paper would be easy or not like the last year ones?
There is absolutely no guessing in that.
Yeah.
Every year question paper is completely different, and they completely oriented in a different way.
Yeah.
So I would say it just comes down to how well you can do it.
Yeah.
So I would say just give it your best, no matter what paper it is. And we might think, after we finish the paper, we might think last year's paper was easy, this year's paper is much tougher. But if you enter the hall with a mindset that the question paper will be tough,
Hmm.
you might not have a good experience solving the question paper itself.
Yeah.
So I would try not to think about how the question paper will be, but how well you can perform in there.
Yes. So I think that's really important. Okay. They are also asking, I think this question comes from Mogan Priya, that if they're not confirmed about certain questions, they're not sure about the answers. So should they leave it for the last moment, or they should go for it and attend, or what should they do if they're not sure for any question?
Okay. So can you repeat the first half of the question again?
Yeah. So they want to know, like, if they're not confirmed about the particular question, should they stop by and think over that particular question, or like they can leave it for the last moment? Or also, is it possible that they can skip certain questions? Is that advisable?
Yes. So the total amount of questions you can skip is 10.
Okay.
170 questions is how much you're supposed to attempt for 680 marks. But if you are not confident about the question, I would advise you to leave it rather than getting your negative marks. So I would say 10 to 15 would be a range, and that is how many you can leave. I
Yeah.
would not advise, but 10 to 15 is what you can leave comfortably. And I would say when you're solving it, and as I said before,
Hmm.
if you can, while solving the paper, if you can eliminate uh, two of the options, I
Hmm.
would say go ahead, give it one more try, and if you can eliminate one more, go for it. So just try putting the answers back into the formula and try rechecking it, and try seeing what answers you get, and those are really helpful. So try checking how many options you can eliminate, and then go ahead. So if you're not able to eliminate even two of the options, even one, I would say skip the question, go for it, go for the next question. And if you have no idea about the question at all, I would say skip it.
Absolutely.
And if you have circled it, you have enough time and you think you can solve the question, go back to it and start solving it, and then finish it off. Every question, I think you have around 3 hours, 180 minutes, and you can't give, it's supposed to be one question every minute and 180 questions, and it works out well, but that is not the case. So your biology questions, you can finish answering one question in about 15 to 20 seconds,
Right.
whereas a question of chemistry would take a minute, a question in physics might take 2 minutes. So there is no saying that I can give only 1 minute to one particular question. So it is very subjective. So biology questions, you can finish it off in the beginning. It'll take about 15 to 20 seconds per question. And with that good feeling, you can solve your chemistry questions in about an hour. Physics, it'll take about 1.5 minutes, but try keeping it short within 1 minute to solving it. If it goes more than a minute, circle it, move ahead, check the eliminating options method, not happening, skip it, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think Rutvi, you had this question. So I think Rohan already answered that, like how you should go about attempting the different parts. Gangari, please, can you repeat your question, because I can't see any questions here. Okay, Rahul is saying that, can you see how can we join in a medical stern like BDS, BHMS or BMS? I think you wanted to ask that if we score more than 350 marks in NEET, then in which term can we join in medical college, like BHMS or a BMS? Like where can they join in, Rohan, if you have any idea on that?
Yeah, I would say not only a CET but NEET marks. You can very well go for BDS. I would say you're anywhere between 60th to 70th percentile. You can get in any of the courses you want.
Yeah. Okay. Mathili wants to know which section should we attend first, section A or section B?
Yes. So as I said, go for your biology section first, followed by chemistry, followed by physics. But if you think you're really good at chemistry, go for chemistry first, followed by biology, and then physics.
I think whichever subject which gives you more confidence will really help you answer better the rest of it.
Yes. So why do I always keep saying keep physics in the end is because in the end, even though you give an unknown amount of time to your biology and chemistry, it is about 1.5 hours, which how much you're supposed to give. If you're done with that early enough, you'll have way more time for your physics and you can solve them comfortably enough. That is why I stress on keeping physics in the end. But if you're really confident in physics, I would say go for it and finish it off in the beginning.
Absolutely. Okay, Rahul, I think we already answered like how much marks you need to score in NEET exam, right? So right now, just concentrate on giving the best of your paper. Okay, NEET last 4 to 5 years question paper will help for revising in last 3-4 days. I think yes, Rohan did say that PYQs are always helpful in revising. Yeah, so I think you should how to revise full syllabus fast now, and how many hours should I spend on each subject? Okay, so Gangari wants to know, like, if you're revising it, we are in the last mode of revision, so how can we go about revising the entire syllabus, and how much time they need to spend on each subject?
Yes. So as I said before, 3 hours for each subject, 2.5 to 3 hours for each subject. In the morning, you can finish off 2 of the subjects. Let's say biology and physics. You can finish those. Your revision process will be such as you are covering your formulas, your summary sheets. You're looking at your diagrams, and for your chemistry, looking at all your elements, your reactions, and all your named reactions. And especially in P block, where there are lot of exceptions, I would say just keep going at it over and over again. Their day-to-day use and their yes, their everyday use is very important, and that is how you can remember them, like your Fossey-jaw, lockjaw, and your phosphate chemicals. So all of them, once you remember their physical aspect of it and their use, I would say it would really help you to remember them. And I would say formulas, I think you might get a little confused between your physics and chemistry half-life formulas, as although they might seem similar, the way of solving them is completely different. But in a way, both of them are similar for the T half-lives. So the first half of solving this T half is similar for your chemistry and physics. So I would say you can find, if you can find it on your own, it's really good. But both of them, try remembering the subtle difference between the physics and their chemistry half-life reactions. Okay,
Right.
and I
Absolutely.
think that's enough.
Okay. I think I saw another question that if they can't score well in exam this time, so can they repeat? I think this question comes from Sakshi.
Yes, so you can repeat if you want, but I wouldn't suggest you go to the exam with that
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah.
I would say you go to the exam with how we call and how we suggest everybody
Yeah.
is you the day before the exam you get up and you go with a winner mindset. So this is how even when most of the 12th standard students I talk to, we say you go to the exam with a winner mindset and you give the best you can. What comes later is later on, and after your marks and counseling, then you get to decide. Then you decide whether you want to repeat or not.
Yeah.
But if you try thinking of repeating now itself, I don't think you'll put in that much effort of giving it this year. And I understand you if you think you're getting really less marks, but I would say this kind of NEET, it'll really condition your mind about what kind of questions will come, and I would say give it your okay. But coming to your question, yes, you can drop a year. There are plenty of courses which provide these services like Akash, base, resonance, uh, Allen too. Allen is more on the competitive side, where and they have a very elaborate reading material. I would say base and resonance is very good for a drop year course, and you can go for them.
Absolutely. So I totally agree to what Rohan says, that please do not go with this mindset. Have that winner mindset. You'll definitely crack it. You don't need to sit and repeat, right? Okay. Um, you're most welcome, Gangari. And this, I think this advice is for everybody. Like all of you who are sitting for NEET this year, right? So go with a very positive attitude and affirmation that you will crack and you will sit the exam, will be sitting for this exam and you'll be cracking and you'll be getting into your MBBS course. You don't need to repeat it. Okay. Uday, we already discussed about physics. I think we have individually discussed about those subjects. Just go through the entire video. This video will be up soon on YouTube. So you will have time. Just go through the entire video and you'll have that confidence. Okay. Okay. Coming to your question, Mathli, tips and tricks for organic chemistry, particularly. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I personally loved organic chemistry. So coming to organic chemistry, a part two textbook of chemistry, very important. And I would say all of what they've given there is very to the point. And how you can target it is by solving questions. So your the questions that are given in your NCRT itself, they're really good for building your concepts, but you might have to go one step ahead and solve either your board questions or your NEET questions. So I would say over here for your covalent, your I wouldn't say covalent, your organic chemistry, solve as much questions as possible, because the type of questions which will come here, we cannot predict it at all. But then your named reactions and all the your valency and how the bonds are formed in every reaction, I would say just try remembering the basics and you can apply them in your exam. And they're mostly given in a, they won't give the reactions in a named form of way, but then you have to apply your logic that yes, this is a named reaction and that is how we can solve it. Okay.
Yes, I totally agree, and that's a very good way of improving. I think while we were registering, also we were getting a lot of queries on, like last minute tips and how can they improve their marks. And I think all of them have, got answered here, like what exactly they can have. Okay, is there some tips for
I had one more point.
MHT-CET? Yeah, sure, sure.
Yes, for organic chemistry, I would say most of your organic compounds, they are related to your day-to-day life. I would say knowing their daily use and how they actually react with the compounds around them. would be incredibly helpful for actually remembering how they function. I would say your last chapter, everyday chemistry, is actually really interesting, although not that many questions are asked from it, but is incredibly helpful to find out what the main properties of your organic chemistry, which you learned in the first two chapters, haloalkanes, haloarenes, and I think those are very important.
Right. Okay. Santhia is asking like how to remember the theory in chemistry. Okay.
Okay, so I would say if you go from the beginning, um, your chemistry, some of your topics may come out as right. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Um, yes. So can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so this was about the theory part for chemistry, like how can they remember it?
Okay, so I would say most of your questions which you read in chemistry, they come from your board kind of perspective. So once you learn how to reason out the questions which come for your boards, and since you've already prepared for them, I would say reasoning questions would work out really well for you and how you would target them. But then over here, you have options present. So you just need to condition your mind about what kind of options will come, or if such a statement comes, what can I eliminate?
Yeah.
So I would say also for remembering your chemistry theory, uh, especially your blocks, you need to revise it over and over again. I'm sorry, just give me a minute.
Sure. Okay. I think that would answer your question, right? I mean, Santhya, I think that would help you regarding the theory in chemistry, right? So I hope a lot of your questions have been answered here, right? So, okay, let me just check if we have missed on any query. Okay, Pradyaman wants to know the scope in BPT. Okay.
BPT. Okay, I would say the scope is really high these days. The physiotherapy and BPT students, they are doing very well. And in our medical field, we do conduct a lot of camps, and we always have a few of the BPT members with us. And I would say doing BPT in the current world, it's really good, and they can always have an extra course of sports medicine and go for your sports medicine and your physiotherapy. Also, as most of the people today are getting into your increased physical activity, they would come with muscle pain, tendinitis, and all sorts of problems. And I would say uh, your physiotherapy is absolutely needed there. So if you are absolutely interested in physiotherapy, I would say go for it. It is an evolving field right now. And yes.
I think Rohan, your video got stuck. If you can check on that.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think
No, not yet.
um, is it working fine now?
No, the video is still stuck. I mean, your audio is clear, but cannot see your video. It's stuck over there. You can just like rejoin or something. It work. Yeah. So am I audible? One, am I audible to you now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So what should we revise? Sometimes you're blank. How can we work on that? Okay. A lot of concentration issues. Like sometimes they're getting blank. So how can they work on that? Veda, about the revision on exam day on morning side. Okay. Okay. Is our audio clear now? Okay. So Rohan, can we like pick up this question first? Like mornings of the exam day, what should be the revision strategy on the same day?
On the same day, I would say once you get up in the morning, have a breakfast, go to the exam hall. I always say last minute preparation, last minute revision does not work out well. I would
Yeah.
say whatever you want, do it the last night, or you want to revise it in the last minute. I would say um, only your most volatile formulas.
Yeah.
Only your most volatile formulas, revise them, and you can keep them aside. It'll take hardly 5 minutes, but and that is all I would say. Last minute preparation does not work out well.
Yeah. So Veda, I think that's the best suggestion that you can have, right? So just relax and be calm and stop, getting into your books and revising it. Okay. All right. Maithili wants to know about the scope in nursing. Okay. I think we had another question on nursing. Okay. Pradyuman also had the same query about nursing. So I think Maithili wants to know about scope in nursing, and Pradyuman wants to know about BSc nursing scope for boys. So I think we can club up together and have the answer.
Yes. So I would say nursing right now is thought of to be a very fashionable field, and it is very upcoming. And I would say a lot of people are taking up nursing these days. And I would say they range in a variety of fields,
Yeah.
coming from your regular OPD basis to your handing out in your operation theaters
Yeah.
to going for your daycare facilities. I would say nursing is really important, and they learn on similar lines as the doctors, but the part where it is changed is where they add more care towards the patient.
Yeah.
There's a emotional aspect towards the patient, and that is where nurses and all are important. And also, you can there are very few uh, concepts, and you can get really strong on them. There'll be a lot of practice
Mm-hmm.
for your all the skills which you gain. So I would say nursing right now for females and males, and most of the colleges here now they accept all male and female,
Yeah.
as we mostly see nursing, who all are present day 90% of them are females, but then it is also the case nowadays. If you go to the hospitals, we have 60% girls and 40% boys. So we
Yeah.
have a lot of men coming into the nursing field, and they're doing an incredibly well. They're
Yeah.
doing incredibly well. So I would say you can keep the taboo aside if there is any present. I would say nursing is a good option.
Yeah. So I think Pradhaman, definitely your friend can go for it. He wanted this suggestion for his friend. So I think it's there. So definitely your friend can go for that. Okay. Just adding another part, Rohan, to the same query, Maithili is just extending that after doing BSc and MSc nursing, can they go for PhD?
Um, okay, I'm not really sure about the PhD level for it,
Yeah.
but MSc and uh, BSc levels for your nursing, they are absolutely important. But if you want to do it purely based out of knowledge,
Yeah.
I would say you can go for learning in the respective field. But if you're looking at more from the job perspective, or where you want to work and they actually need it, I would
Yeah.
say your experience counts a lot. And once you are a working nurse, MSc and BSc, you would get incredible work experience in any hospital you want, especially
Yeah.
the metropolitan cities. The work ethic and the workforce is really good, and I would say, and also all the health facilities, they are really good, and I would say you would learn a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. You're most welcome, Pradman, and I think I mean that's the purpose, to give you the right guidance. Mogan Bray, we have already discussed the entire syllabus coverage in the last moment, so just go through the video. Most welcome, Mathli. I am glad to see that Rohan could help you out with your confusions. Okay. So, okay, I think I could see a lot of things like we did answer. So right now you just need to focus. Arun, can we have any suggestion for MHT-CET for PCB group? Any tips that you want to share?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
MHT-CET for PCB group. Do you have any suggestions for them?
I would say for PCB group, since they're not taking up maths, right? So even if you haven't taken up maths, I would say solving your uh, MH. I didn't catch the MHCET part. Can you?
MHT-CET is, I think, the Maharashtra CET Common Entrance Test
Okay,
for,
okay, that
for
is
the
what I
PCB.
assumed. So PCB group, Maharashtra CET, I would say, um, see, since you're not having maths for your strong physics background,
Yeah.
so say it does not matter that much. But if you're solving your integrals and your differentiation, just focus more on solving those questions, getting your concept strong in what your integration is, and it'll really help out in solving your distance problems and your velocity equations. And
Yeah.
also, just try focusing more on, since is really easy,
Yeah.
so I would say you can solve them really quickly.
Yeah.
Most of them are to the point questions. So your concept base are important and you can solve them very easily. So I would say PCB, you can perform well for a CET.
Absolutely. Right. I think your questions get answered. Okay, before we just wrap up the session, I'm just launching the poll. I hope we could answer your queries. Rohan could help you and guide you in the best possible way in a very short span of time right before you attempt your NEET. So he has gone through this entire experience. He's already pursuing his MBBS, will be completing soon, and a medical practitioner would be out. So I think a student who has that experience can share and connect with all of you, all the aspirants who are like going to sit for this exam coming weekend. So that was our, our motive to get Rohan here so that he can like help you and guide you in the best possible way. And I hope that all your queries were answered. We did try and answer all your queries, right? But for the last 4 or 5 minutes days, I would suggest, Rohan, like what would be your guidance and tips for these last 4 or 5 days before the sit for the exam?
I would
Overall tips, actually, I would say.
Overall, I would say you can, even though you are strong in topics, revise them. Your weak topics, revise them more. Know which exactly you're weak in. Know your concepts well. Revise all your subjects to 3 hours daily. Solve your mock papers from 2 to 5. Sit it, sit for an exam, like sit like an exam and solve it from 2 to 5. And analyze your paper. Analyzing your paper is very important. And I would say if you do that much, you'll see consistent results in 4 days. You'll see an improvement. And I would say stick to your schedule, stick to whatever you made, stick to the topics you are saying you'll finish. And I would say you do that, your NEET will go easily. And try motivating yourself in a way that once you finish this, you will be in a medical school, a school of your dreams, and you want to take it in a more in the other direction. You'll finally have one less thing to think about.
Yeah. Rahul, you're most welcome. So I'll just pick the last query, okay, before I wrap up the session. Sakshi wants to know, is there any scope in biomedical engineering, if you have any idea on that?
Yes. So I have a friend. She's working in America for about the CRISPR theories. So I'm sure you would have heard about the nanotechnology, CRISPR modifying bacteriophage. So I would say biomedical engineering is at the top right now, and everybody is keen on bringing it into the current pharmacology and how the current drugs can behave. And biomedical engineering, not just about that, but also about they'll help incredibly well in our radiology department and finding out new imaging modalities. So I would say biomedical engineering is an ever-growing field. There is no boundaries to it at all. Just like the medical field, there are no boundaries,
Yeah.
and it you're only limited by your own imagination.
So I think Sakshi, that helps with your query. Okay. So guys, I think we need to wrap up. We are out of time now, but the entire 60 minutes we did try and answer all your queries, the maximum we can. And thank you, Rohan, for like, I know being an MBBS student, it's very tough taking out time for sessions. You're so engrossed in work and practicals and theories. But thank you so much on a very short span of time, like on a very short notice. He just came here for the webinar. He took out time from his busy schedule, and he was there to guide you, all of you. So I think that's very kind gesture of Rohan. So thank you again, Rohan, for answering all the queries that you can, picked up all the queries. And I think this was the last session before you sit for the NEET, but both of us wish you all the very best. All of you, just go and crack that exam, and we would love to see all of you in your MBBS colleges after the results. So we really hope that you have that confidence, that positive affirmation, as Rohan has said. Just go with it, and definitely you'll crack the exams. So Rohan, you'd like to say something to them?
I would say all the very best for your upcoming NEET 2022, and I hope all of you do take up the tips which I have told today. If they're useful enough, do follow it, and also follow your schedule. And I would say you guys will do well. Just know what your goal is.
Absolutely. I double up on that, whatever Rohan is saying, and all the very best to all of you. But if there are any queries, you can always come back to us. We'll try and get answers for those last queries. Okay. So thank you so much, and all the very best to all the aspirants. Thank you, Rohan. Thank you so very much.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel.